Oh, welcome to Thirsk, friend. You should speak to Skolder Wolfrunner. He's the chieftain of this hall and wishes to meet all new arrivals.
Alright, we are in Thirsk Mead Hall. Rescuing Captain Carius seemed a little important. Plus, we're gonna do the Moon Sugar Mystery, which is pretty close. Thirsk we picked up from flying across at the beginning of the game to pick up the gloves, which I am still wearing, because I love them. So while we're here, we might as well start picking up quests from Thirsk.
And kinship.
Hail! Skilder Wolfrunner is my name. I am the chieftain of Thirsk, and welcome you to our home. You'll not find a better mead hall anywhere, not even in Skyrim. For 100 years, Thirsk has withstood all manner of attack, from the snow and hail to those infernal reeklings. But the mead hall still stands, and its hospitality is unmatched. Please, stay and relax. Enjoy our fine drink, and seek shelter from the cold. Here, my friend, taste the nectar of shore. Thirsk is the name of this mead hall. It was built over 100 years ago by a group of Nords who left the Skal village. They were led by Hrothmund the Red, who became Thirsk's first chieftain. They're vicious little things. If you see one, you're in for a fight. If you see one riding a tusked bristleback, you're in for a real fight.
Okay, so that was asking about Reeklings?
Thirsk was built by a group of Nords who left the Skal village over 100 years ago. We may not agree with their beliefs, but we respect them as fellow Nords. The tusked bristleback is a type of boar native to Solstheim. There are lots of them around, and they're sometimes hunted for their meat. The bristlebacks can be vicious, too. That's why the Reeklings use them as mounts.
Hail! Svenja Snowsong is my name. We welcome guests here at Thirsk, so long as they behave themselves. Respect my home and my clan, and we'll get along just fine. One word of advice, though. Stay clear of Eric the Unworthy. He's more trouble than he's worth. Eric is a disgusting brute of a Nord. I've met Frostboars more charming than that oaf. He thinks he's a ladies' man, too. A pretty thing like you should have no problem earning his affections. Not that you'd want to. I'd like to teach him a little respect, but he is my clan brother after all. Still, I can't say I'd cry in my mead if someone were to plant their axe in his chest. Mead is fermented honey wine. It is a strong drink, brewed by strong Nords. The mead here at Thirsk is shipped all the way from Skyrim.
Okay, she didn't actually give us a quest, and...
Oh, welcome to Thirsk, friend. You should speak to Skolder Wolfrunner. He's the chieftain
so
of
we
this
get to be
hall and
sexually
wishes to
harassed?
meet all new
Yay.
arrivals. Oh, welcome to Thirsk,
Well,
friend.
now,
You should
if you're
speak
not
to
the
Skolder
comeliest
Wolfrunner.
lass I've
He's
ever
the
laid
chieftain of
eyes
this
on,
hall and wishes to meet
come
all new
here
arrivals.
and let Big Eric keep you warm. Well, well, aren't you a pretty little pup? What do you want? Speak up, wench. I'm a busy man. Oh, I'm worthy enough, little lass. Niva, what?
Okay.
You making
That's
fun of
enough
me,
of that.
little one?
Tis a silly place. Okay, she is not trusting anybody that, you know, the Skal are horrible. Because she's used to Imperials thinking everybody's horrible when they're the ones that are horrible. Gonna go check in on the moon sugar poisoning marker down here. And as far as she can tell, the Skal are like Nordic Ashlanders. Snowlanders. Wanting to stay far away from the Empire just seems like good sense. Okay, so far, if you get red and green lights in the north and a guy wearing a merry ho 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 white Colovian helm, Solstheim, Uncle Sweetshare's workshop. So this is the version of Santa, yes?
Candy, candy, he makes so much. Uncle Sweetshare has a magic touch. So it's back to the workshop in the snow, with lovely lanterns all aglow. Hee hee, ha
So moon sugar on a cutting board. Moon sugar in a bowl. Lots of moon sugar, folks. So the elves have been busy. Dried belladonna. Okay. That's a little bit different. Belladonna is a poison.
Hee hee, ha ha, can it be? A visitor in my workshop? How can I help you? I have candy treats to spare if you come in search of happiness. Oh, so you're here to ask me about the moon sugar investigation. I see, I see.
This has got to be base game because it's voiced, so, alright guys. I don't know who was high when they came up with this, but it's on point.
My candy treats are tasty, they are, and filled with special sugar and love. They bring happiness to everyone on Solstheim. That's what I do, you see. I give out my special sugary treats and spread happiness throughout the land. It's difficult work, but oh, so very rewarding. Menashe certainly thought so. Ah, Menashe, the dear lad. That Severia Gratius is so grumpy. Maybe I should visit her next. Because that's what I do. I visit the sad and miserable and spread all the happiness I can. It is the way of Uncle Sweetshare, you see. Now that Jeline, there's a sad, sad boy. His true love has disappeared, don't you know? Very sad, very sad. That's why I sang to him. He needed something extra, something special. Sugar in a song. It cures all. That's me, you see? Uncle Sweetshare, just like in the children's rhyme. When I found that old song, the lyrics moved me like nothing else in my life. I knew at that moment who I truly was and what I was meant to do. So I had this workshop built. I make treats here, you see. Delicious treats with the special sugar. Moon sugar. Hee. Then I spread my cheer throughout the land, but it's all a secret. Shh.
Okay, I'm probably gonna end up regretting this, but I'm just gonna please give me your hat and stop doing this. So promise you'll stop poisoning people and I'll spare your life. Just give me your white helm and I'll bring it back to Severia Gratius as proof of your death.
Give you my helm? Stop sharing my sugar? Distressing, most distressing. But you will let me live? I do so love to live. All right then, we have a deal. Here's my white helm, and you have my promise. I will not spread any more cheer. I will keep my candy all to myself. That won't be so bad, will it?
Yeah. That is kind of what I think about Santa, just a creepy... Sorry, I'm going to offend people, but I usually do that. Just a creepy, child-obsessed, sit-on-my-lap guy that freaks me out. Okay, so we need to go to Skal Village now, which is to the north. I know my way relatively around this island because it's the same as Skyrim. In fact, I think there's Kolbjorn Barrow down here too. Yeah. So a lot of the places are the same. So in Skyrim, you do go to Raven Rock and Fort Frostmoth and Thirsk and Skal Village. I'm level 12. Moving right along. So, negative 22 degrees, and I'm comfortable. I'm grateful for that.
May the wind be on your back.
There are fortified armor gloves, but I would never remember to put them on.
On your way.
It's so rude. She doesn't like Nords.
What do you want, stranger? Why are you among the Skald? What do you want, stranger? The Skald wish you no harm, but you will mind your manners while you are within our walls. We will make no exceptions. Now what is this I hear about an attack on the Imperial fort? Those soldiers? Bah! They cut their trees and dig their holes, and have little to show after a day's toil. They do not respect this land or its creatures, and for that I find them offensive. But though I have no love for them, the Skald would never do such a thing. We prefer to let the Imperials kill themselves slowly. But these creatures that attacked, these were not wolves of this island. Now have you finished your business here? Wolves are one of the most blessed of the All-Maker's creations. They are fast and agile, and they are careful and clever hunters. You say you've brought the bones of one of our ancestors? Stupid Imperials.
Right.
They need to learn to leave things as they are. Still, it is good that you have returned this to the Skald. Perhaps there is hope for you and your kind. You are welcome here for the moment, but there is much to atone for. The Imperials in their fort have brought nothing but harm to these lands. They cut the trees and dig the earth. They are wasteful, lazy, and careless. They have no comprehension of the oneness of the land. It is this oneness from which the Skald derive our strength, and the Imperials have defiled these lands. Through their carelessness, the Imperials have upset the natural order, the oneness of the land. This is their nature. It must be balanced once again, and the All-Maker appeased. I wish for you to make things right. You will be the one to restore the power of the Skald. It is right that you do this, as it is your people who have caused the damage. Speak with Korst Windeye in the shaman's hut. He will give you further instructions. The shaman, he should spend more time with steel and less in studies. Still, he can provide good advice. This is what gives the Skald power. It is the balance of our lands, the trees and the waters, wolf and bear. The Imperials have no respect for this balance, and we pay the price. Windeye will tell you more. I cannot count the number of them I have bloodied my axe with. They are creatures hardly worthy of a warrior's
That's
attention.
weaklings.
Mindless beasts. The tusked bristleback is a mystery to us. It is a natural being, created by the Allmaker, but it is a cruel and vicious animal. The Reeklings use them as mounts, and have bred the creatures to be even more warlike and dangerous. On your way. Greetings to you, wanderer. Why have you come to our village? I feel the same way. It's been some time now for me. I can tell you no more about this. If there is information, Heartfang will have it. I'm sorry, I can do no more. I am Coursed Windeye. How may I help you? Heartfang wishes for you to do this, does he? Then I will assist you. There is a ritual that must be completed. On Solstheim, you will find 6 standing stones, each representing one of the 6 gifts of the Allmaker. At each of these stones, a ritual must be completed. Once the ritual of the gifts is complete, the oneness should be restored. It would be too much for any knot of the skull to remember. Here, take this. It will explain the rituals and guide you on your way. This book may be of some use to you as well. If you are to remain with the skull, you should understand our beliefs.
Okay, I have actually read Ritual of the Gifts. I know the myths. That's going to take some time, so essentially it's going to be very much like the pilgrimage. There will be steps to it. We go to each stone and do a trial. So, although it's important to rescue Carius, whatever his name is, I'm not going to stop my method here and go burn forward on one of the highest levels about. So I'm going to turn in the moon sugar mystery thing. Yeah. So I'll try to remember to read the book or have it read to us at the end of this session. But it's a myth about the stones and their purpose and the symbolic place in Skull life.
Welcome, Hail! Do my eyes deceive me, or is that a white Colovian fur helm? Then the deed is done. The moon sugar poisoner has been brought to justice. Excellent work. The Imperial Legion will not forget you or your assistance. Here, please take this gold as a symbol of our thanks. All the garrisons are presently at full strength, except perhaps the Death's Head Legion at Fort Darius, in the West Gash, near the village of Nexus. If you're interested, you'll have to talk to General Darius there.
Okay, we will loop around and do that cycle, but that's probably going to be a lot. And spoiler alert, I know Carius doesn't die, you know, right? He's gonna outlive everybody. Okay, I'm going to progress Lyithdonea. So that's Sadrith Mora. And I'm going to try going to the... following some of these... Okay. Let's go see if I can speak to someone about Lyithdonea. essentially it starts in the Gateway Inn, but I may not be able to progress it unless I speak to other people. And I also may not have enough faction. I'm not really quite sure how it triggers. This is when we went to the Temple of Azura and had a dream. They were talking about fire. Now, I have progressed this before, but I don't think there's anything down here, guys. But it bugged on me, so I've been reticent in continuing it. It's not really imperative to my game that I be able to do this quest, so we'll start it. Bummed if a mod doesn't work.
May the wind be on
I've tried
your
this
back.
twice. First time I tried it, I was fine. It did not bug, and I just really never went back in that run through. And the other one, I had a follower with me, and it permanently bugged because my follower was permanently in combat, and it wouldn't advance.
I have a great selection that you'll find especially useful, Outlander.
So, she says of Lyithdonea, I did hear one of the Mages Guild members talk about a very special shipment, and that word was mentioned. Okay. So I've heard that the Mages Guild in Wolverine Hall has a very special shipment which is associated with Lyithdonea in some way. Okay.
You seem quite intriguing. Please share.
This
your
is an
thoughts.
honor for me.
I'm at your service. Are you here for duties or
Yes,
advancement?
we did receive a new shipment recently, though I don't know if I would consider it extraordinarily special. Now that you mention it, if you have a moment, I need this trade license delivered to Captain Elemenon down at the Gateway Inn, if you don't mind. Could you run that little errand for me? Good. Time forgives not those who waste it, so get going.
I need someone to escort the scholar Tenya Minway. Tenya Minway is staying at Muriel's Corner Club. She is concerned about some trouble she had with a Telvanni last night. She wants to leave Sadrith Mora on the elf scaring, but is afraid to go to the docks. If you escort her to Gal Zarithi's ship, I would be grateful.
I will ask about Telvanni Spy.
Telvanni spies. Yes, I suspect there is at least one. I do not know who or where. While Sadrith Mora may be the obvious target, I would try looking in Vivec. That's where guild decisions are actually made.
Okay, so we have a few quests we can pick up. This Mage's quest of escorting Teleminway will take us essentially right to the Gateway Inn and through just a little bit past.
Anytime you're ready, just don't keep me waiting.
Please, feel free to talk at your leisure.
Where's the money in that?
Are you ready to travel together to the Telvanni docks? Do you want me to follow you? Very well. Take me to the elf scaring at the Telvanni docks.
So you can't really teleport in this quest. She can't really teleport with you. She'll get caught up on the locked door well, not locked, but closed door at the Gateway Inn. I won't be able to follow, at least in my experience. So we need to run across town.
And you'll regret
It won't take long. Oh, I already opened the door. So we're going to the elf scaring, which is right here.
Thank you.
Quest is updated. Can turn it in.
Welcome. Care to talk?
Thank you for taking me to the Telvanni docks.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to Wolverine Hall, turn this in.
I'm sure we can work out.
Yes, did Tenya Minway make it safely to the ship? I'm glad to hear that Tenya Minway made it to the elf scaring safely. You have my thanks. I heard Edwina finally got her potion.
Someone in Teleroon has put a bounty out for a missing person. Might be worth asking around there for more information.
I believe she was planning to return to Somerset
You
Isle.
ask about Tenya Minway, and I'll ask about more duties.
I am looking for a rare book, Vampires of Vardenfell.
This is why I've been holding these 2 books.
There are 2 books in this series. The first is common in Morrowind. Most booksellers have a copy. The second volume is rare. If you can find a copy of Volume 2, I would be grateful. You might try a rare bookseller. Have you found the second volume yet? Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. And it is in good condition, too. I hope 1,000 septims will cover your expenses. You may be able to assist me. I would like to speak with one of the wise women of the Ashlanders. Perhaps you could arrange a meeting. Speak with the wise women of the Ashlander tribes. From what I've heard, I doubt the Erebenimsun or the Urshilaku would agree. The Zainab might agree, but I would speak with the Ahemusa first. The Ahemusa camp is on the northeast corner of Vardenfell. Take a ship to Telvos and go north up the coast. If you reach the sea, you've gone too far. I thank you for the book.
When you ask about the Gateway, which is the inn, unless you're a Telvanni retainer or kin, you're not supposed to sleep anywhere inside Mora except the Gateway, the official Telvanni hostel for outsider visitors. In theory, you're not supposed to walk around inside Mora unless you are a Telvanni retainer or kin, unless you have the necessary hospitality papers from the Prefect of Hospitality, Angaredhel. Angaredhel. Angaredhel? The Dunmer at the Gateway. In practice, stay out of trouble, and you can go where you want and do what you want. So he won't barter or train unless I'm higher rank, which is fine. Fine, like I have any say about it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Gateway. There's a quest to pick up about a ghost. A ghost.
I'm Angaredhel, the Prefect of Hospitality here at the Gateway Inn. Shall I tell you about my trade? Or do you need hospitality papers? Or perhaps you are open to an offer of work? According to the collective articles of the Council of the Great House Telvanni, outhouse and outlander guests in Sadrith Mora may not travel in town, or speak to or conduct business with citizens, tradesmen, or publicans unless they have hospitality papers. This is for the comfort and safety of our guests. As Prefect of Hospitality for Sadrith Mora, I can provide you with these papers for 25 gold. Would you care to purchase these hospitality papers?
Yes, I'll purchase the papers.
Thank you. And here are your papers. They permit you to travel in town and speak to and conduct business with citizens, tradesmen, and publicans anywhere in Sadrith Mora. Of course, we hope you will stay with us here at the Gateway Inn. Travelers of all professions, factions, and professions are welcomed and made comfortable here.
Except when they can't sleep because there's a ghost.
A ghost is haunting our south turret bedchamber. As soon as we get rid of it, it reappears. We can't rent the room, and all our guests are in an uproar. The mage mistress Arara Uvulas, Master Neloth's mouth, came to take a look, but said she couldn't see how to stop the hauntings. If you can get rid of the gateway haunting permanently, I will offer you a choice from a number of valuable items from a local enchanter.
Okay.
I suppose I could spare a moment or two.
Hail, I hope this is important since you've just interrupted Signoraman's story about his vampire hunting grandfather. It's a tropical archipelago. I don't have time to divulge specifics at the moment. Very special shipment. What's that? Skink sent you? Good, because I have a priority shipment to deliver to the guild, and now my boat's not been underway for days. May I have the papers? Ilmenon takes the papers and tucks them into his sash. Yes, thank you. You know, the Padomaic pirates are bad this time of year, and I could always use an extra arm in the event of a violent encounter. What do you say? There's good wages to be had as a hired hand on my ship. Extra, if we do happen to run into any trouble. Well, that depends on where exactly you're headed. Lyithdonea. Lyithdonea. It's Maumeri, which is sea elf. Mau, sea, mer, elf. Though I couldn't say what it means, most people call it the Azurian Isles. It's a small archipelago off the eastern coast of mainland Morrowind. I'm just heading to the Mages Guild campus there, but most of the isles are inhabited by the descendants of old Minor House Azura. Long story behind all that, but I'm the wrong person to ask. Come along if you're curious. All right, when do we leave? Magnificent! We'll take the skiff out of the Nepenthe as soon as you're ready. I'm ready now. Very well, let's be off. If I ask about the Padomaic pirates, the Padomaic Black Pirates are a large company of brigands based out of Black Harbor on Esronie. They're a ragtag assortment of ex-legionnaires from the Imperial invasion of Akavir, down on their luck adventurers who never made their way back to Tamriel after braving the eastern waters. The occasional Padomaic islander or even some Akaviri natives, or so I have heard. They're more notorious for their raids on the Wasabi Run from Kathnaquay, but they've been seen as far as Topo Bay by some reports. Okay. Well, let's see if I can accomplish this and if it doesn't bug out this time, because that would be awesome.
Is there something I can do for you?
I do enjoy a good conversation.
We'll set sail for Lyithdonea as soon as these swabs turn to finish loading up the rest of the cargo from the skiff. Why don't you head below deck? While you're down there, take this and place it on the shrine down in the hold. It will provide good favor to keep us on course. So we have a lizard person. Hurak. Hurak! Which of course makes me think of Galaxy Crest. Rock! Rock! Rock!
Is there something you...
Now, it looks like you'd pick up the platter, but instead you put down the shrine thing. Teeth of the World. Spirit of limitation manifested as spiked waters at the edge of the map. I am the bottom row of the world's teeth. Take this spoke and find the rest of the wheel. Okay, there is a lot of stuff here, but I'm not really gonna,
I must be going, so if you could make it quick.
Except for that.
What's she doing here?
Okay,
Is there something I can do for you?
Welcome. Care to talk?
You put the teeth down on the shrine then? Thank you. Superstitious poppycock, I know, but old seaman habits die hard. Pauses and then says quietly, when you're out there in open water, there's not much else to stay grounded on. More loudly, in any case, why don't you head below deck and get some shut-eye? Galas and our ferryman won't be back for a while with the last load. Okay, so I think you have to like sleep for like a day. So I've slept for 8 hours, gone back, and he was like, go get some more rest. And sleep for 8 hours, go get some more rest. So I'm going to sleep for a day. Wake up cranky, hungry, thirsty, and dirty. Okay, I hear a commotion on deck. Yes. I'm going to take a sponge bath while people are dying. It's their fault for making me sleep so long. Okay, pirate pauldrons. Some of this looks cool, black tunic, but of course I'm not changing my clothes, I'm really not. Okay, this is where my game bugged before, but I don't have a follower with me, it doesn't look bugged right now. But we'll see if he will speak to me. Cool set of gear that should sell for a bit.
You've piqued my interest.
Why don't you head below deck and get some shut-eye? Galas and the ferryman won't be back for a while with the last load. Oh, this is disturbing. Okay. I'll see. I'm gonna go below decks and get some more rest. And see if that... Yeah, the door's blocked. And the door is... bugged. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Slamming it on my follower before, but... So I don't know if there's anything I'm supposed to loot from these guys. I'm going to make all their corpses disappear and see if that makes a difference.
Welcome. Talk?
So as you can see, they still look as though they're stuck in combat. I don't know what this is supposed to be here. But all the doors are locked, all the locations are bugged. Let me see if I can clip, but I doubt it. It's gonna be, yeah, I can't even turn clipping off everything. You know what? I'm going to try one more thing. See if I slept in the wrong place. Other than that, I'm just going to hide this and give Lyithdonea a rest. So I don't know if I'm sleeping in the wrong place, but that's the only thing that I know to do is to check the quest marker. What the hell? Okay, so as you see, now you can use the doors. I really don't think, and yeah, you can use the cabin. Try it again. Except, yeah, let's see. I slept in the wrong place. So yeah, they want me to sleep in the hold.
Did you want something?
What is this about?
Okay,
I do
good.
enjoy a good conversation.
So as you saw, there was a pirate stuck in the water. There might have been something stuck in the water. Don't know. And he's level 48. So, yay. What a bloody mess. I'm relieved that you came along. Would have been a tough fight otherwise. I'll be sure to let Magister Zalaster know how much of an asset you were. If you're ready, I'll call all hands to get the ship moving again. I'm ready. Magister Zalaster is the Arch-Magister of the Lyithdonea Mages Guild, and he's close with House Azura. A fine man to have the good favor of if you plan on staying on the island. Okay. Okay, so we are in Lyithdonea. I don't remember, I mean, I'm sure I actually got here once before. It looks different because I've changed all the textures. I believe I got in here and couldn't find a damn single thing to do. I weirdly went into the Guild of Mages. My followers started attacking something in there that was invisible to me. It wasn't a person. Sometimes there are things like, ore nodes. I've noticed that if you go into something where there's an ore node, your follower will start treating it like an enemy, and you can't pull them off the damn thing because it's never gonna die. Alright, so yeah, I have been here. I have tried to find a quest in this area here going into the Mages Guild, but never got one. Tender of the Lamp.
I'm an officer of the Imperial Law. Move along.
It's always so nice to come to a new place and have people just yell at you and tell you you're in their way. I believe that's what happened to me the last time I was here, so I left. There are no quest markers.
I must be going, so if you could make it quick.
Join the Lyithdonea Mages Guild. Yes, you look like the sort we could use here in Lyithdonea. Chapter of the Mages Guild. Will you take the Mage's Oath and join the guild? Bear in mind that we operate independently of other chapters. You may be a member of and answer directly to the Arcane University. You're now a member of the Lyithdonea chapter of the Mages Guild. Welcome! When you're ready, you can ask for duties to perform, and once you are ready, you can ask me about advancement. So, as you've noticed, there are no duties. No duties, nothing to say. No duties, nothing to say. No duties, nothing to say.
What can Khajiit do for you? There is much.
No duties, nothing to say.
Please, go ahead, speak.
Travel to Sadrith Mora. Okay. So that's good to know.
Good company.
But I know on this second floor, I came here with a follower, and I think they were attacking this globe because it was acting like a ore node or something. He just would not come off the damn thing. Yeah, look, it's like an enemy. It's level 1 with 73,000 hit points. Anyway, freaked my companion out.
What is it? What do you want?
Hello.
Lots of instances, easy to get lost. It looks cool, but I couldn't find a damn thing to do.
You have my attention. How interesting. I'm fine, thank you. What can I do for you?
I know there's a nice bathhouse in here, but the water doesn't...
What is this about?
Recognize me. Nothing. There are beds. It does look nice, doesn't it? Beds, I know somewhere in here is a really nice bathhouse. What the hell is that? Club fruit. Yeah, good name. It really looks like a Priscilla Queen of the Desert fruit, but that's a little meta for these guys. I don't know, movie probably came after. But there've got to be a lot of drag queens. Okay, so combat music has started. I don't know why. Nothing to say.
How are you?
Okay, so this is what happened to me last time. I just got frustrated and left. combat music started with that globe. Yeah, here's the bathhouse, only I can't actually use it. Which is sad, because it seems very cool. Okay. Infinity of beds. Pool dining room. Magister's quarters. Locked. 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 Okay. Locked and trapped, level 100. These are wizards on a far shore. I'm not going to break into these doors. So, you have made it as far as I have ever made it in Lyithdonea. I can't figure out why I would want to be here. It's a small island. There's more, but again, not seeing any quest markers. And I mean, I am not going to spend a ton of time trying to figure out what to do. You'd think that if it sent you to a place, there'd be something to do in that place. So, I'm going to go back down to the bottom floor and see if I've missed anything. But this is exactly as far as I made it in Lyithdonea before. It is not great zone design to send you somewhere that doesn't really have anything more. There's a little bit back here. I don't think there were any quest givers back here either, but I'll check. Nope. Okay, so you can join the guild, but there are no it is not marked for theft. Neither are these gems. I'm gonna grab them. Looks nice, looks promising. I can't find a damn thing to do. That's the guard that just told me to move along. Guild of Mages Menagerie. Let's see if there's anything in here to do.
I'm fine, thank you. What can I do for you?
Nope. Okay, as far as I know, I spoke to pretty much everyone. Nobody directed me anywhere else. Order of the Lamp Barracks. Let's see if there's anything in here. But, I think I'm out of luck. Yeah, they haven't even populated this with... Oh my god. Okay, so, as you see, this is a unfinished mod with no quest additions. So, if you want to check it out, stay tuned for further mod updates. But at this time, it's not a thing you should be doing. Okay, I am going to hide this mod. Oh yeah, there's nothing left to hide. There's no quest, so okay, that makes it easy. Exiled alchemist, Odd Ventine, an alchemist that met I met in the labs and living quarters of Lunarvine, asked me to retrieve a journal of Gilvas Oreth. Gilvas was exiled because of his dangerous experiments and now should live somewhere else on the island. So let me see. If I go to tracking, thankfully, if I click on that, it will give me a little bit more information. West Gash, Bernier, Lunarvine, Skyview, Lunarvine, the Luminous Vale, the Crimson Falls. So that's... okay. That's back with the Void Pirates, right? Should be bound right there. Lunarvine. There we go.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
Alright. So, Alchemist's Journal in the Luminous Vale. Crimson Falls. There it is. Woo! Friends of Blood Astronaut. It looks like they just ran up and did headbutts and knocked themselves out, so I'm happy about that. Welcome home. Uh-oh. Well, it was human once. Void berries. Yum. Alchemist Journal. My name is Gilvas Orethi, and I've decided to write down my results. Write down the results of my experiment in case something goes wrong, even if the journal will eventually end up in the hands of that scum on Ventine. For a long time I've been trying to create a stronger version of Blood Atronachs, and I partially succeeded in my endeavor. My former colleagues from Lunarvine, unfortunately, were right, talking about the dangers of my research. It's possible to infuse an Atronach's essence with a larger amount of power, but it makes them unstable, much less obedient to the Creator. So far, I haven't found any solution to this issue, but managed to dispose of the creatures. My next experiment should involve creating... The rest of the journal is filled with notes and strange diagrams. You can hardly read its contents because most of the pages are covered in blood. Yeah, someone was busy here. Okay. She thinks she's gonna leave the jars be. Journal's good enough.
I don't recall using teleportation, and yet there I was.
Welcome. Please, don't be shy. I'm listening.
Thank you. I'm glad to get my hands on his research, but I'll try not to create any dangerous creatures using this knowledge. Wouldn't want to get exiled, too. Here are some potions I've made as a reward for your efforts. Okay. Let's see if we can pick up any more quests from here. Last time we tried, we couldn't.
I hope this place isn't too run down for you.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
What can I do for you?
Well, let's not take too much time.
Greetings, welcome to our headquarters, where we've been studying the magica and life forms of this realm in extensive detail. I've seen nothing like it. It's beyond my understanding how a Daedric lord such as Uncaius could conjure up a place of such unique properties. If you haven't talked to him, by the way, you will. He seems to take his time while summoning newcomers. Anyhow, things were going great here until we had a run-in with the pirates. Relatively civil with them at first, but now they're accusing us of murdering their men. We put together a plan to deal with these pirates once and for all, but we lack the capabilities to enact it. Now that you're here, perhaps we can change that, but we need some time to repair. In the meantime, Celine, Sidrith, and Lysella are currently studying the magica of this realm. If you're serious about joining the team, we could use the help. Selin Loramax is a necromancer of modest talent. I suppose I can give him that much. He's from High Rock originally, but he keeps his past to himself. Sidrith Karain is a miserable woman. I brought her here from Cloudrest, a decision I found myself frequently questioning the wisdom of. She's a restorationist of passing skill, but she's too lazy and uncooperative to become anything resembling an asset to our group. If you want rumors, go pester Lysella. Actually, no. Don't do that. Lysella Silon. In a perfect world, I wouldn't have to deal with such ridiculous characters, but alas, this is not a perfect world. She's the only person I've ever met with any kind of distinction in metamagics, which is a crucial part of our work here. Having said that, she seems more adept at spreading gossip and distraction than anything else. Don't speak to her unless you want word salad. I was the head professor of alchemical studies at Cloudrest Academy in Somerset, but I ultimately left to pursue more lucrative and experimental research. I'll return there and likely take back my old position once my operation here has borne fruit. I received a tip about this realm and the secrets it held. Don't hire people purely based on their qualifications. Trust me on this. This project has cost tens of thousands of drakes and taken years. It's absolutely priceless. You won't get any more secrets from me. You want something unrelated? Well, you can use fortified personality and speechcraft potions to essentially cheat in job interviews. It's not even illegal. I don't know if that's useful to you, but there you go. Unkinas is a Daedric sublord. But like all self-proclaimed gods or princes, he's supposedly far above us mere mortals and is yet able to do little to prove it. He may be far older than us, but all that does is prove how little he has to show for himself. This decrepit little pit is a joke of a realm. He shouted threats of annihilation for trespassers at us from his cozy little fort ever since we arrived, yet he hasn't set foot outside it once. Pirates are foul, violent, undead thieves and extortionists. They can't rot fast enough. They're led by Captain Shar, a wretch if I've ever met one. They maintained some facade of civility when they first arrived, but that soon dropped after they got wind of how valuable our project here really was. It wasn't long before they were attempting to blast down our doors to get inside. To my knowledge, we've done nothing wrong. They're still set up on the other side of the island here, and I don't believe they'll be leaving anytime soon.
What can I do for you?
They ask about void pirates. There's got to be hundreds, if not thousands, if not more realms of oblivion. How on earth did they get wind of here, of all places? That's what I'm wondering. Ah, yes, you look like someone who would enjoy murdering trees in the name of scientific progress, am I right? I know a fellow tree murderer enthusiast when I see one. I need you to go and kill a bunch of those spriggans and bring back some of their bark and sap. 5 portions of each should be enough. Don't ask me what for, you'll see when you return with what I need.
I hope this place isn't too run down for you.
Oh, you're helping out now? Before the pirates arrived, we found that large skeleton on the island. I can't really imagine what it was before it died, but I find it a bit disturbing, to be honest. I hope I'm wrong, but I can't shake the feeling that it's there for something. Octian seems to think the sublord of this realm is a pushover, and he may be right. But if he was able to kill something that big, or if he's capable of raising it, we might be in a lot more danger than we realize. And I'm sure it's probably fine. I just want to be sure. I didn't get the chance before, but I want to try communing with it.
Do I drop the sweet roll, or hand it over and come back later? Dunno.
That drop the sweet roll, hand it over, and come back later is part of the, questionnaire that you can take about what you would do if someone stole your sweet roll. Would you beat them up? Would you negotiate with them? Would you drop it and come back later? I didn't get the chance before, but I wanted to try communing with it, just to make sure that it's not going to spring to life or anything the minute we make a move and mash us all into fine... excuse me. I just need you to escort me to the skeleton and interrogate it with me. Just a small, mostly harmless... scans. Nothing to be afraid of. It's just south out of the cave entrance. We can go now, if that's all right. Excellent. Lead the way. Okay.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Blood, Atronach. You're willing to help? Go and distribute this resin to our wounded workers in the labs and living quarters. While you're there, collect the blood bowls that were put near their beds. We're going to need to use all of it. Yes, I know it's disgusting, but someone has to do it. Someone that isn't me.
Clearly he was wrong, yet I do think he meant well.
Okay. We are going to try to scan... a giant thing that I don't know where it is. Oh my god. And now there's a million markers for the... Alright. Let's see if I can get a better idea. Channeling with a colossal. Channeling with a colossal. I have agreed to help escort Celan outside to a large skeleton so he can commune with it. What could go wrong? Ah, okay. I see it. Oh wow, I'm actually chilly in here. That makes no sense. How can I be chilly in here and not in Solstheim? was his clan fear. Sorry, man. Alright, here we are. I'm going to channel in through myself, so I just need you to interrogate it through me. Ask it what it is, where it came from, how it died. You know, just make sure it isn't going to be a threat to us. And in the event that it is a threat, well, I guess we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. Why do you disturb me? What are you? Ancient, once a listener of time, but I have since become deaf. It's low hymn. Ask more questions. How did you die? The sun and the trees stole from me of my flesh and my breath. You serve the sublord. I serve only the axis upon which the natural turns, the gears of stone and earth. Where did you come from? I strove from the far shore, beyond the stars, behind the void. I have no more questions. Well, that was not what I expected. Did you understand any of that? Seances are meant to bypass language barriers, but that thing must be so old, its speech barely correlates. To be honest, that raises a lot more questions, but I think I can more or less say I don't think this creature is a threat to us, at least not in any traditional sense, but thank you for your help. I'll return to the headquarters shortly. You go on and head back. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're gonna go do a temple quest. So, this is a woman with corpus disease in the arena. Find her and convince her to go to the corpusarium. So, since it's corpus and not a blight or common disease, there's no way to heal her. Try to convince her to go to Vivec Fear's corpusarium. Okay. Vivec Arena. Okay. Pretty sunset.
Yes, Outlander. What do you want?
May I help you?
May I help you, Outlander?
It's not bad when you know your way around. What are you looking for in Vivec?
Yeah, you can see her face has got a whole bunch of boils. Leave Vivec City. Well, first I'm going to work on persuasion.
I shall honor our friendship too. Why should I leave?
Quote from Sarione's sermons.
Enough! You do not need to quote from your copy of Sarione's sermons. I will do as you ask and go to the Corpusarium.
Okay. So,
Citizen.
This is a quest given to you in the High Fane. Go turn it in.
Did you convince Tanusia Veloth to leave Vivec City? I am glad you were able to convince Tanusia Veloth to leave. She will be cared for in the Corpusarium and will no longer spread the disease. Since you may have been exposed to a blight disease, please take these potions. Are you ready for further duties? Your talents are noteworthy, but to prove that you have patience and wisdom, you must make the pilgrimage to the Sanctus Shrine. To make the pilgrimage, I must swear you to silence. If you speak with anyone before reaching the shrine, you will have broken your vow. Before you are sworn to silence, you may wish to purchase some potions of levitation or water walking. There is no easy way to get to the Sanctus Shrine in Dagon Fell, and the waters can be dangerous. Tell me when you are ready to take the vow of silence. I swear you to silence. You may not speak again until you reach the Sanctus Shrine in Dagon Fell. The shrine is on an island west of Sheagorad. Look for a shack with a triolith beside it. I will mark it on your map.
Okay, thankfully we've been to Dagon Fell. It's in the north. So, I'm pretty sure it's close to here. Ah, there's the Sanctus Shrine right there. So we're just going to go up north and fly down. So yeah, I'm not going to let this loop around because obviously I'm going to speak to someone in the process. She silently wishes more people would take vows of silence and then giggles, but she assumes that is not speech. She restrains herself from swearing at a cliff racer, also not speech, but technically. Again, she'll leave the flowers here. I have made the pilgrimage. My vow of silence is lifted, so I'll return to Vivec. Ah, yeah, that would be very difficult without fast travel. Because in theory, you'd have to speak to someone. Get a boat.
I am blessed. Have you completed the pilgrimage to the Sanctus Shrine? You made the pilgrimage to the Sanctus Shrine, and you have proven your piety. I celebrate your devotion. Perhaps you would enjoy these books. Your talents are noteworthy. Speak with me again when you are a curate in the temple. Until then, you may ask Thara Rothaloth in Molag Mar, or Tuls Valen at the Aldrun Temple.
Okay, I'll go to Tuls or Thara. We have both of those locations. Doesn't look like there's anything available in that temple. I might have already done those. Let me see if the Molag Mar temple has something. Okay.
I am never too busy for a good talk.
You're here to serve the temple by performing duties?
A villager in Tel Mora has fallen ill, but there is no temple in Tel Mora where she can go for healing. Go to Tel Mora and cure Lete. The temple does not proselytize, but we do good works for non-believers. Lete, a Regward in Tel Mora, has swamp fever. Cure her of swamp fever and return to me. The symptoms include high body temperature and delirium, but there are no easily visible signs. It can be cured with a standard potion of cure disease, or you may attempt to cure it with a spell. This is the stronghold of Molag Mar. It is a garrison maintained by the Tribunal Temple and House Redoran. Many come here to rest before making the dangerous pilgrimages to Mount Khand and Mount Asarnabibi.
Okay, gonna mark here. I'm also gonna go to the temple in Aldrun and rule out whether or not they have anything there for her. Now this is Aldrun, this is Redoran territory, so there is a quest marker back with that gentleman, but he is with House Redoran, so we'll talk to him
I am
later.
blessed to be at your service, Outlander. Speak with me again when you have proven yourself in the temple.
So,
I have one more thing to ask
here.
of you, but you are not ready.
I will continue
Until
with the
then,
Molag
speak
Mar
with
quest
Uvu
line.
Laren in Ghostgate, or Endrin Lethan in Vivec.
Okay, mysterious killings in Vivec. Alright, the Hall of Justice is looking for extra help, so we'll go speak to them. In the Office of the Watch.
Please join me. Walk with virtue, Outlander. Greetings. I need someone to deliver my apologies for me, and you look like you have a way with words. I'm afraid I was rather drunk last night when I ran into Trebonius Artorius, that arrogant fool. It seems that the drink took over my tongue, and I called him a flathead. Now I have a horrid rash. No matter what I do, no matter how many potions I use or spells I cast, it won't go away. I've tried everything. If you give him my most sincere apologies, maybe he'll make it go away. I'd do it myself, but I'm feeling a little under the weather. I'll pay you 50 gold for your trouble.
Sure, why not?
Good. Take this book to him and tell him I'm truly sorry. You'll find him in the Mages Guild here in Vivec. He's a rather powerful wizard, as I've learned.
So Trebonius is the leader of the Mages Guild.
I am Elam Andas, Chief of Vivec's Order of the Watch. Do you have questions about my trade? Or are you here looking for work? We've had 7 killings in Vivec recently. All the victims had their throats slit. Most did not appear to have struggled. 5 victims were Outlanders. 2 were Ordinators. The 2 Ordinators were armed and on duty. Their weapons were still in their belts. Nothing was removed from the victims' bodies. I cannot hire you. Only ordinators may serve the watch. But if you can find this killer and execute him, I personally promise you a very handsome reward. I require no commitment from you. Indeed, I cannot officially accept one. But if you are interested, I can tell you what we know about the 7 victims and the reports of witnesses. None of the 5 Outlander victims had been on Vardenfell longer than a week. 2 were found in Foreign Quarters corridors, 1 on Foreign Quarter Canal side, 1 in a Hlalu compound corridor, and 1 in the water near the arena. All were armed. Only 1, a mage, appears to have put up a fight. All had their throats slit with a dagger. Until the 2 ordinators were killed, we thought it might be an anti-imperial fanatic, and it still might be. The 2 ordinators were found dead near the victim at Hlalu compound, and we think they coincidentally interrupted the killer at work. Both had their throats slit with a dagger. That neither ordinator had drawn a weapon is extremely unsettling. It suggests either extraordinary stealth or a very powerful sorcerer. That's all we know about the victims, and there's not much information from witnesses either. There are no witnesses to any of the killings. But in Hlalu compound, at about the same time as one of the killings, an Outlander reported being threatened by Dunmer woman armed with a dagger. It was dark, and the Outlander transported magically to safety, so he couldn't give us a very clear description. But he was sure the Dunmer woman with a dagger was dressed in a skirt and netch leather armor. Yes, that's the only description we have. A Dunmer woman with a dagger in a skirt and netch leather armor. As I said, I cannot officially hire you for this task. But if you find and execute this killer, when you return to report your success to me, I promise you a handsome reward. The Order of the Watch provides guards for temples and shrines. Here in Vivec, which is a temple city, we are the guards who enforce the law and preserve order.
Okay. So there's a bit to do here in Vivec. I think we'll go read the book that was just given to us before we give it away. Towers, Aedra, and Daedra.
Autumn's Welcome by Horatio Garganath, a poem about the arrival of autumn. Autumn's lofty sky descended, covering the valleys with fluttering reds and yellows. The glitter and ivory of snow sparkled from the high mountain pinnacle. The dawn of crimson and gold reverberated songs of migrating birds, dazzled unseen above the painted leaves. Melodies of autumn reflect the serenity that lies in the approach of the frigid winter. Autumn sinks down, and blue hues flatter the icy mountaintops. Crows and blue jays sound a trumpeting, as squirrels play within the color-crested treetops. From the windless meadows, many bees hum by towards their home, and songbirds fashion musical tunes more enchanting than the colors of autumn.
Beginner's Songbook. I learned a new song, Eyes Like Smoke, a collection of simple tunes and exercises for the novice musician. The notation is clear and the melodies uncomplicated, perfect for building foundational skills. So I bought that at the rare bookstore. More of the Bardcraft that I'm not doing.
Contemporary with Makamat Lucine, interviewed in...
This is interviews with Tapestrists, Volume 18, Charon's Heart of Inequina by Lilivus Paris, Professor of the Imperial University.
17 of this series is the Khajiiti Cherim, whose tapestries have been hailed as masterpieces all over the Empire for nigh on 30 years now. His 4 factories located throughout elsewhere make reproductions of his work, but his original tapestries command stellar prices. The Emperor himself owns 10 Cherim tapestries, and his representatives are currently negotiating the sale of 5 more. The muted use of colour, contrasted with the luminous skin tones of Cherim's subjects, is a marked contrast with the old style of tapestry. The subjects of his work in recent years have been fabulous tales of the ancient past. The gods meeting to discuss the formation of the world, the Chimera following the prophet Veloth into Morrowind, the wild elves battling Morrihouse and his legions at the White Gold Tower. His earliest designs dealt with more contemporary subjects. I had the opportunity to discuss with him one of his first masterpieces, The Heart of Anaquina, at his villa in Orcrest. The Heart of Anaquina presents an historic battle of the 5-year war between Elsewhere and Valenwood, which raged from 3 E394 or 3 E395, depending on what one considers to be the beginning of the war, until 3 E399. In most fair accounts, the war lasted 4 years and 9 months, but artistic license from the great epic poets added an additional 3 months to the ordeal. The actual details of the battle itself, as interpreted by Cherim, are explicit. The faces of 120 Wood Elf archers can be differentiated one from the other, each registering fear at the approach of the Khajiiti army. Their hauberks catch the dim light of the sun. The menacing shadows of the Elsewhere battle cats loom on the hills, every muscle strained, ready to pounce in command. It is not surprising that he got all the details right, because Cherim was in the midst of it as a Khajiiti foot soldier. Every minute part of the Khajiiti medium-weight armor can be seen in the soldiers in the foreground. The embroidered edging and striped patterns on the tunics, each lacquered plate on loose-fitting leather in the Elsewhere style, the helmets of cloth and fluted silver. Cherim does not understand the point of plate mail, said Cherim. It is hot, for one, like being both burned and buried alive. Cherim wore it at the insistence of our Nord advisors during the Battle of Zelinin, and Cherim couldn't even turn to see what my fellow Khajiit were doing. Cherim did some sketches for a tapestry of the Battle of Zelinin, but Cherim finds that to make it realistic, the figures came out very mechanical, like iron golems or Dwemer centurions. Knowing our Khajiiti commanders, Cherim would not be surprised if giving up the heavy plate was more aesthetic than practical. Elsewhere lost the Battle of Zelinin, didn't she? Yes, but Elsewhere won the war, starting at the next battle, the Heart of Anaquina, said Cherim with a smile. The tide turned as soon as we Khajiit sent our Nordic advisors back to Solitude. We had to get rid of all the heavy armor they brought to us and find enough traditional medium armor our troops felt comfortable wearing. Obviously, the principal advantage of the medium armor was that we could move easily in it, as you can see from the natural stances of the soldiers in the tapestry. Now, if you look at this poor perforated Cathay rat, who just keeps battling on in the bottom background, you see the other advantage. It seems strange to say, but one of the best features of medium armor is that an arrow will either deflect completely or pass all the way through.
An arrowhead is like a hook made to stick where it strikes if it doesn't pass through. A soldier in medium armor will find himself with a hole in his body and the bolt on the other side. Our healers can fix such a wound easily if it isn't fatal, but if the arrow still remains in the armor, as it does with heavier armor, the wound will be reopened every time the fellow moves, unless the Khajiit strips off the armor and pulls out the arrow, which is what we had to do at the Battle of Zelinin. A difficult and time-consuming process in the heat of battle, to say the least. I asked him next, "Is there a self-portrait in the battle?" "Yes," Cherim said with another grin. "You see the small figure of the Khajiit stealing the rings off the dead wood elf? His back is facing you, but he has a brown and orange striped tail like Cherim's. Cherim does not say that all stereotypes about the Khajiit are fair, but Cherim must sometimes acknowledge them. A self-deprecating style in self-portraiture is also evident in the tapestries of Ranulf Hook, the next artist interviewed in volume 19 of this series.
Expanding Magicka, a revised edition, by Essling Severnan Breton. A guide to magic and its several uses, includes editor's notes. Herein resides the amalgam of a life of research, the results of which sprawl before you in this volume. Up until this point, very little has been definitively known about the properties and rules by which the various, for various they are, magics are governed. Through my years of research and experimentation, I have determined at least a few of the ways magic and its properties may be utilized in everyday life. Furthermore, I have hypothesized a number of alternative and perhaps even greater uses for magic, and I have written them here for further investigation by my successors. Editor's note. While the author of this work seems arrogant, and despite the fact that a number of his hypotheses have proven incorrect, this text still merits study by any fledgling wizard for its worthy lessons in how manipulation of the magics fell into common practice over the years. This book, regardless of its shortcomings, became the basis for a great deal of work regarding the understanding of magic and its handling. Remember to read both this work and my notes with an examining, not merely an accepting eye, and discover the truth for yourself as you delve deeper into the understanding of the natural world. Section 1. An examination of magic crystals and their properties. In the past, I have hypothesized that the rare glowing crystals found deep inside a select few ancient subterranean complexes might be the source of magical powers, and that by manipulating them we might uncover some of this world's greatest mysteries. After an incredibly long and grueling series of experiments, I have determined that the very essence of Tamriel's arcane powers flow through these conduits. Much like the sun and stars, these crystals are sources of magicka. I have discovered that these crystals exude a deep, primal power. As a would-be conjurer or wizard moves closer to these crystals, he begins to feel robust, boost to his skills and abilities to cast a number of spells, suggesting that the crystals in some way bring the caster closer to magicka itself. It is as though the wizard's soul is bound more closely to the natural world. I believe that through the utilization of these crystals, new and more powerful spells might be possible. It will be of great interest to the reader to learn that these crystals are portable, in that their positive properties seem to last for a surprisingly long time. One characteristic, the crystal's ability to bind to a soul, has an indefinite half-life. I have been unable to determine whether or not this property dissipates over time. Editor's note. While the author is not entirely on the mark in his belief that these crystals are actual sources of magicka, he was correct to note that they enhance existing magical powers. Our sun, Magnus, and the night sky's stars are rifts into oblivion, allowing magicka to pour through. However, these gems seem to absorb magicka. Thus, any passerby might feel invigorated when nearing a crystal. It is believed that these gems gather power regardless of location, and they are unhindered by physical blockades. Indeed, some of the most powerful sources of magicka can be found deep underground, whereas surface crystals may have little stored magicka. As most of my readers understand by now, the manipulation of the energies produced by these gems serves as the backbone of modern magic and its applications. Furthermore, the author noted that these stones have a strong attraction to the soul. Basing their work largely on the author's information, conjurers have learned to use this property to shackle the souls of Daedra inside of these crystals and their more refined derivatives. Indeed, these fittingly named soulstones, produced by tuning the energy waves emitted by the gems, have become a staple to contemporary conjurers and enchanters alike. It is also important to note that prolonged exposure to the unrefined crystals can have some unfortunate negative side effects. Those who work too long with these gems can suffer irrevocable damage to their reasoning schemas. It is hypothesized that partially unrefined or poorly refined soulstones are the reason so many young conjurers turn to necromancy, relying increasingly upon their summoned minions and secluding themselves from society. Similar isolating tendencies have been observed in enchanters, the other crystal dependents. Section 2. A deconstruction of necromancy and conjuration. While some might argue that there is a basic difference between vile necromancy and pious conjuration, or whatever you wish to call it, these two disciplines work through the same principles, leashing and controlling a spirit. In both cases, unfavorable results may arise. Most commonly in these situations, the caster of the spell merely loses control of his creation and is maimed or killed by what he has conjured. However, it has been reported that sometimes a caster can accidentally use his own soul instead of one summoned from the twisting nether. When this happens, the caster's soul usually tears itself apart as it tries to inhabit two bodies. Human souls have also appeared to fuse with those of lesser Daedra. In both cases, the result is a very painful death for the conjurer. First, I will discuss direct conjuration, as it is the easier and socially more acceptable form of these arts. Essentially, conjuration works through a complex manipulation of magicka by which a portal into oblivion opens and, hopefully, the desired creature is pulled through. In most cases, this process also involves binding the will of the summoned to that of the summoner. I believe that this portal is actually a slit momentarily created between our realm and oblivion, one quite similar to those in the skies. Fortunately, this slit seems to be small enough that it can mend itself, unlike those that exist far above. Were it not for this self-repairing property, our world would have long since fallen to the violent hordes of oblivion. However, in some cases, a summoner may create too large a slit in the dimensional fabric, allowing more Daedra into our world than desired. An excessively large tear can result from either weak dimensional fabric or from the over-exuberance of the spellcaster. Necromancy is somewhat more difficult because it requires that the summoner maintain a sphere of control over the spirit he has summoned. Spirits tend to take a real form upon their entrance into our world in the form of a scamp, a dremora, etc. But necromancers must prevent this by essentially shielding them from the world long enough to carry their spirits into inhabitable bodies. The spirits seem to prefer these available bodies to creating their own. The allure of necromancy comes in that these bodies may be placed under the control of caster with many safeguards, long before the spirit inhabits them, creating an exceptionally strong bond of loyalty in the summoned to the summoner. Furthermore, these bonds do not require maintenance on the part of the caster, as is necessary for a conjurer. The bond between a necromantic creation and its master does not seem to have any chronological limitations. Editor's note: Here, the author presents the first of two contemporary views as to what conjuration actually is. The first, as he says, holds that Daedra and spirits are called forth by creating a miniature rift between our world and oblivion. However, there is another theory that holds that the Daedra exist in our world already, that Magicka itself is in fact separated particles of Daedra. Proponents of this idea claim that conjuration is merely the amalgamation of particles into the desired creation. Some go as far as to claim that this is how all Magicka actually works. The attraction of this idea spawns in that it better explains how one summons bound weapons and armor, a subject left untouched by this author. The idea that there are random pieces of equipment simply floating around in oblivion, as the author indirectly implies through his theories, is indeed a strange one. Part 3. Destruction, Restoration, Alteration. I have put all three of these schools of Magicka together because fundamentally they are the same. They all work off of the same basic principles. Essentially, restoration is alteration that heals its target, and destruction is alteration that damages its target. Alteration itself is a relatively neutral form of the altering magics. I will first discuss those magics falling under the school of destruction, these being the simplest, and thus most deadly, as this allows for great power, magics to perform. The creation of a destructive spell functions by transforming Magicka directly into a deadly physical form, such as fire or ice. The Magicka almost always takes the form of some naturally occurring phenomenon in nature following the desires of the caster. The exceptions to this are spells affecting the mental or physical faculties of their targets without actually causing physical harm, such as those which drain the willpower or intellect. Unfortunately, I have been unable to break down exactly how these spells work. The second school of Magicka falling under this section is Restoration. All of these spells basically work as the antithesis of their destructive brethren. Restorative spells change Magicka such that it repairs and purges damaged or diseased flesh, transforming into antivenoms or even into new skin, muscles or bones. I have heard rumors of powerful mages who can even resurrect entirely dead creatures, bringing their subjects fully back to life. They return not as undead, instead coming back as they were before their deaths. These rumors, however, are unsubstantiated. The last, and most difficult, branch of Magicka falling under this section is the School of Alteration. I call it the most difficult because the spells themselves are both varied and abstract in nature. Let us examine, for example, the burden spells. I have seen the same spell performed numerous ways. Some mages deaden the legs, some place mind weights upon their enemies, and some slow the hearts and blood of their foes. Certainly this tends to vary from mage to mage. An illusionist might opt to use a mind weight, whereas a battle mage would tend to use a leg-deadening spell. Regardless, you can see that each can be performed many different ways, and some could hardly be classified even as typical alteration spells. I will not go into any greater detail in this volume. Editor's note: the applications of these spells are nearly limitless, so I will emphasize the importance of what the author is saying. Most sorcerers and wizards agree that alteration is the field of magic most open to differing methods of execution. These differences, while being partially dependent on the specialization of its caster, also vary somewhat from region to region. Most of the races developed a different method for using and casting alteration spells. For example, tribal Khajiit have used alteration spells to thicken or thin their fur depending on the season, whereas some reclusive Nords have been known to change ice to fire to keep warm during the nights. The point I am making is that these spells are by far the most applicable to everyday life, and that they are indeed quite indispensable. Regarding what the author says about how these spells are actually performed, it is difficult to refute or affirm his claims. Most mages perform their spells through rote memorization, hardly thinking about what they are actually doing, and so they hardly notice their own tendencies. Magical prowess feels inborn, not learned. Despite the assertions made by the author, few have devoted any real time to testing his theories, myself included. I would like to note, however, that most of these spells have applications primarily in living things, save for a few pure alteration spells, such as lock breakers and the like, giving some credence to the author's ideas. Volume 2 of this series contains information regarding the schools of illusion, mysticism, and some advice regarding the practice
of magicka. Okay, Skeleton King just updated. It's been a while since I checked in at Caldera Priory. Perhaps I should pay a visit. Getting that message isn't painful. She's at peace with the horrors. Final thought of realizing that just as Azura may be at the top of the power chain, and Nandeen needs her help, it means there's always someone more powerless that needs Nandeen's help, and if she seeks them out, that would be a good use of a life. Simple tasks of making food and making tea, and doing what she considers to be good, and not doing what she considers to be evil at times, is all she can ask of herself right now. She doesn't know if there is any more to be sought.